Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi semuanya. No, pagi, selamat siang semuanya. Just like what Bu Lulu said before, we're now going to have a presentation independently because our lecturer, Bu Ika dan Bu Lulu, still in Malang because they have Konaplen or Taflin probably and cannot attend this meeting. Jadi, for now, we're going to have presentation just like usual. Perkenalan, masuk ke konten, kemudian berikan waktu atau berikan sesi untuk tanya jawab. Mungkin tanpa without further ado and wasting our time, let's start our presentation. But first, let me, what is it? Share the screen so you can just talk. Wait, is my screen visible? Apakah sudah terlihat, teman-teman?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to choose one group in order. Jadi grup 1 sampai selanjutnya. Dan grup yang pertama adalah Fadila Audina, Nadifa, and Farihanida. You may present your output from your discussion. Audi, Nadifa, apakah sudah ada di dalam Zoom? Fadila, Nadifa, dan Farihanida. Oh, udah ada. Odi, boleh?
Wait, belum pada masuk. 2 orang lagi.
Oke, kalau masih lama, how about we skip first ke kelompok selanjutnya? What's this? Farisa Futihat Jiwa. Are you guys present? Farisa, Futihat sama Jiwa udah hadir belum ya? Udah lengkap belum? Ini yang ngomong siapa ya? Saya nggak bisa lihat. Oke, oke, you may start then.
For the transcript video 1, it's about mom and baby talking about the story. The girl that fell into a trap. Okay, the mom said, okay, you're going to tell me a story, and the baby is none. Then the mommy is the mommy is said, okay, and the baby start the story and said, once upon a time there was a little girl, and her name was Alice, and she was 5 years old. And then she had to go to the toilet. And then it's too big for her. She was a little baby, and then she fell in. And the mom said she fell into the toilet, and the baby said yes, yeah. First, and then the mom said, was she okay? And the baby said she wasn't. And the mom, what is it? Memastikan apa ya gitu. She was not okay. And then the baby said no. And the reaction of the mom is, oh no. And then the baby said again and continue. Then she got stuck. And the mommy make sure that stuck in the toilet. And the baby say, yeah. And we continue. She got stuck by a big swamp. And then the mom said, what is it? By a big what? A big slime. And the mom make sure it's a slide. And the baby said, yeah, it was so sticky and it was stuck attached to the baby. And the reaction of the mom is, yeah. And then baby continued the story. Then she came and find her mom. The mom said, so she found her mom in the end. Baby said, yeah. And then the mom, thank goodness. But let me tell you another one, said the baby. Yes, I do, the mom said. The analysis for video one is type of exchange is elicitation. The opening is initiation, and the answering is response, and following is feedback. There are several points. The first one is elicitation. Okay, are you going to tell me a story? Is a question. And then the child responds with begin the narrative. And the follow-up or feedback from the mom is show the interest or encouraging. And then the second one is same as number one. The mom is questioning. She fell into the toilet, and the answering is yes from the child. And then the clarification checks from the mom as a feedback. Was she okay? And then the elicitation from the next is still same. Was she okay for the request? And then the answer is she wasn't. That's the response from the daughter. And then she wasn't okay. Oh, she wasn't okay from the mother as what is it? As a confirmation and scaffolding. And then the explanation clarification from the mom. She got stuck. And then the child responded as, yep, stuck by a big swine. And then requesting detail. The mom said by a big what? And then the request is a big slime. Yes, a slime. A slime repetition and request from the mom. And then the next is elicitation reaction from the mother. And then the baby said it was sticky and attached. And the response from the mom is feedback from the mom is yuck, said as expressive feedback. And then so in the end, did she find her mom? And it's a question. And then response from the child is yes. And the mother said as a feedback is thank goodness as a closing reaction. And the last is elicitation, role, reversal, and child initiate. Can I tell you another one? And then the baby said, and then the mom response is, yes, I do. like is parents accept and prepare to listen. Okay. Next will be explained by my friend.
Okay, I will tell you the second video. There's a general context, which is a playful learning activity about fruits and vegetables. Yeah, as you can see, the father acts as an instructor and facilitator. So there's an ERF pattern, which is initiation, like, can you show me the apple? So here the father directs the child to identify an object based on the given instruction. And then there's a response, which is the child shows or picks up the requested object. And sometimes he makes a mistakes, like contohnya itu yang pear versus apple, but she still participates actively. And then there's feedback from the father, like, that's the apple, thank you, or perfect. Here the father give positive reinforcement, confirming the correct answer and creating a fun learning atmosphere. And then here there's father's communication strategies, which is use clarification when the child makes a mistake without blaming her. For the example, like when the child shows a pear instead of an apple, the father says, "That's the pear. Can you show me the carrot?" This is a form of gentle correction. And then there's like provide scaffolding to help the child stay focused and understand the task context. And in the end of interaction with appreciation, like high five, this like strengthening emotional bonding. And then for the conclusion of this video, the conversation is instructional yet warm. The father balances his role as both a teacher and a supportive parent. So basically, for the general conclusion for all these two videos, like both videos shows a consistent IRVRF pattern, which is initiation. The parent starts the topic or question, and then there's response. The child gives an answer or performs an action, and then there's feedback. The parent responds, corrects, and motivates. And then there's parents law parents role as language facilitator, uh, like encouraging children to speak actively, helping enrich their vocabulary, and then there's correcting mistakes naturally and providing positive emotional feedback. So there's an impact on the child, like improves receptive and expressive language skills, builds confidence in communication, highlights the importance of supportive communication within the family environment. So in conclusion, that these two interactions show the simple communication at home, when done with the right pattern, can become a highly effective tool for children language learning. Maybe that's all from us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for uh, Futiha, Farisa, and Jiwa. If there are any question, you shall ask to them. Jika ada yang mau ditanyakan, apakah ada yang ingin ditanyakan? Aku hitung aja ya. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's move on to the second. The next group is Dandi, Gary, Muhammad Faiz, and Raifa. You guys may present your discussion. Apakah salah satu dari 4 member grup ini ada yang sudah hadir? Wait, let me see. Dendi. Okay, I'm here. Okay, you may start.
All right, so hello everyone. So we are from second group. Today we are going to present our group work. But before we start, I would like to introduce our group member first. Uh, First thing first, we have me, Dendi Juliawan, and then Gary Givari Oktora, and then Muhammad Faiz Ardafi. Then the last one is Raifa Prasetyo. So actually, the first video is telling about. Wait. So the first video is telling about the conversation between a mother and her daughter, and the mother initiate the conversation by asking whether her daughter wants to tell a story, and that's indicates the encouragement to her daughter to start narrating a story. And then the mother follows up and clarifying the questions, such as did she fall from the toilet? Was she okay? And so, yeah. Can you scroll to the top first? I'm going to explain it. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, this is the analysis that we have done, yeah. So the first one is elicit. Her mother start by asking question like, "Hey, you gonna tell the story? You're gonna tell me a story?" And then the daughter answering by telling short story, and then it followed by reinitiate from the mother, such as she fell into the toilet, which uh daughter to tell. Okay, I think the next one will be explained by you.
Dandy, your voice not audible. It sounds like a robot.
Since when?
Apa? Ulangin dong, nggak kedengeran.
Dari kapan not audible?
Baru-baru aja.
Oh,
10 detik, 20 detik yang lalu.
okay. I think this material will be continued by Faiz. Is Faiz here?
Yes, Dendi. Okay, so maybe before Dendi has explained the first video, so I will come up with the second video. If we see, the second video involves a father and daughter identifying fruits and vegetables together. And the father used repeated elicit questions such as, "Can you show me the apple?" Or "Can you show me the broccoli?" And the daughter's response, mostly through actions rather than words, by pointing or handing the correct item. And we can see here that the father's role is more instructional, but the father is still supportive and be affectionate. The father, as we can see, consistently provides feedback like, "That's the apple," or "Thank you," or "Perfect, see? A bunch of carrots." So these affirmations motivate the daughter to continue the task. Even when the mistakes happen, for example, when she gives him the wrong item, the father corrects gently by saying, "That's the carrots. You are right. I'll put the pear back here for now." And from our analysis, this indicates that this is a positive reinforcement strategy where correction is delivered in a non-threatening and encouraging tone. Uh, and then maybe after we saw these two videos, we do a comparative analysis between these two videos. When comparing the both videos, we can see that both parents on these two videos use language as a tool of support and learning. The first video, the mother focused on emotional and linguistic engagement through storytelling, while the father on the second video emphasized cognitive and task-based learning through naming object. Both use elicitation to invite response and reinitiation to clarify meaning, and also feedback to validate the child's participation. And then the next, maybe the reflection will be delivered by Reifa.
Okay, my friends are really maybe I will read the conclusion for both videos. To conclude, both videos demonstrate that language function as both a teaching tools and an emotional bridge between parent and child interaction. The, the mother and father encourage their children through warmth, repetition, and constructive feedbacks, helping them build confidence and understanding. Through the lens of Sinclair, through the lens of Sinclair and Coulthard models, we can see how even informal family talk mirror classroom discourse in its structure and purpose to guide, support, and co-construct meaning. Maybe that's all the conclusion. And conclusion is the conclusion will close the presentation. Maybe that's all from me and from us.
Okay, thank you for Faiz, Dendi, and Reifa. If there are any question, you may ask to them. I'll count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you once again, and we can move on to the next group, which is there wasn't any name. There isn't any name in here. Wait, let me see. Anindya Pratista is the one who have this document. Anin, is this one yours?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Grupnya siapa aja ya?
Can you open the analysis part? Yeah.
Okay, you may start.
Hello, is my voice audible?
Yep, it's audible.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So I will start our group presentation. And in here we have the transcript part in another tab, and this one is the analysis part. So in our analysis table, there are some code that you will encounter. The first one is you may encounter in the bottom part. So if it's highlighted with red, yeah, if it's highlighted with red, it means that it is a gesture, it is a transcript of a gesture done by the kid. And if it's highlighted by green, it means that it is a gesture done by the father. And if there is no highlight, then it is a spoken or a verbal option, a verbal action. So for the first part of our analysis, I'll be discussing about the first video, which is the mom and daughter storytelling video, which takes place in a home setting. The activity shows a casual interaction where the daughter are talking about the story, and the mother guide the daughter to continue the conversation. Now, using Sinclair and Goldhart's model, we can see that their interaction follows a clear exchange structure. Especially, I will talk for the first until the third exchange. The pattern that appears in these exchanges for the egg is mainly an illicit narrow, a reply, and also there is a comment in the last one. For example, in one sequence, the mom asks, "Was she okay?" And the daughter replies, "She wasn't." And then the mom reinitiates by repeating with a questioning tone to clarify what the daughter was intended to say. She was not okay. And finally, after she got the reply that she wants, she closed it with a comment. So the short exchanges for the first until the third one shows how the mother's elicit acts as a prompt that invites the daughter to recall and express part of the story. Her reply completes the first exchange, but in the third one, the mother doesn't stop there. She clarifying she reinitiates to confirm understanding and to keep the talk going. And then the final comment, like, "Oh no," adds an emotional response that keeps the conversation warm and engaging. And how do we decide whether it is a different exchange or no? So if the question, the illicit narrow in the opening table is already answered and not not need to clarify something, then it is a one exchange. Like the first and the second exchange is just an illicit narrow and then reply. The reply already satisfied the mother, so there is no reinitiate. But for the third one, the mother asked something to the daughter, and the answer was not that complete, not that defined. So it is the first question wasn't answered right away. So there is another initiate in the exchange until the answer from the daughter is satisfied enough. Okay. And if we observe the pattern across this early exchange, we can see that elicit is dominant in here, and there is one reinitiate. This indicates that the mother takes the initiating role, helping to maintain the flow of the storytelling and supporting the daughter's participation. In other words, her question, the mother question, and emotional comment don't just test the understanding, they actually scaffold the storytelling process of the daughter. So the mom follow-ups question help the daughter recall what happens next, while her comment make the storytelling more interactive and emotionally connected. And it will be continued by Nadia.
Okay, thank you, Naila. Now I will explain to you from I'm sorry, nomor 4 lagi. Fourth. Yeah, the fourth exchange. So we consider this as informative, not illicit, because there is no response and it doesn't need any response. So the sentence is, "Then she got stuck." It's the starter and it's not a question and it doesn't need any response, so it's informative. And the fifth exchange, it's illicit. This is the question, "Stuck in the toilet?" That is the illicit narrow. And the answer is, yeah, she got stuck by a big smile. It's not smile, it's like slime, swine. It's something that doesn't really clear. And that is the reply. And then there is the reinitiate again by the mother. By a big what? That is the illicit narrow. A big smile or slime or swine. And that is the reply. And the reinitiate again, the last thing, a slime. And it's considered as clue. Yeah, it was so sticky and it would stick attached to the baby. And that is the reply. And yuck, that is the comment because it's like the ending or the additional something. And the sixth exchange is the informative, same as the fifth exchange because it doesn't need any response. It's just like adding the information. Then she came and found her mom. It's the starter. And the seventh exchange, that is the elicit. So she found her mom in the end. Elicit narrow, and the answer or the response is yeah, or it's the reply. Thank goodness. That is the command. It's like the response of the response or the question. And then the last exchange is elicit. I need to tell you another one. That is the elicit narrow and the response, it's yes. That is the reply. And it will be continued by Anindya.
Okay, I will talk about the second video. In this video, we can see that there's a conversation between Rose and her father when they are talking about fruits and vegetables. In this video, we can see that most of the conversation from the father is a verbal and accompanied by nonverbal text like gestures and actions, but the daughter only responded with nonverbal text. Okay, the first one, we can see that there is first Alice said, all right, fruits and vegetable, let's do it, my love. It indicates that the father opens the conversation, which we consider that it is a starter. And then the second one, the father specified the question to open more specific topics that they are talking about, which is apples. Rose, can you show me the apple? And then Rose responds by picking a pear, which is not the correct response to the question. That's why her father give a follow-up by evaluation, which shows whether the answer by Rose is correct or not. This, the father says that, oh, that's a pear, which is not the correct one. So that's why the father reinitiate the topic again by saying, can you show me the apple, Rose? And then this time, the Rose finally answers it with the correct answer by picking an apple and give it to her father. That's why in this elicit, in this reinitiate, Rose got a follow-up by her father with evaluation. Oh, that's the apple. And her father also give a comment, which is thank you, to end the topic. And then the second one, the father takes a new topic, which is a banana, by saying, okay, can you show me, Rose, the banana? And then this time, Rose pointing her finger to the banana cart instead of giving the toy to her father, which is not the correct response that her father wants. That's why her father reinitiate again by saying, can you show me the banana in here, by pointing it into in the bowl. And then this time, Rose gave the toy to her father. That's why in this reinitiate, we can see that her father gave an evaluation of, oh, that's the banana, which is the correct answer for this question. And then also he say thank you as a comment. And the second one, the third one, can you zoom in, please? I cannot see it clearly. Okay, thank you. And then the third one, her father asked another vegetables. Okay, oh, I like this one. And showing a broccoli card. This is a new starter because the form of the conversation is quite different from the other ones. The other ones are like questions, and this one is more like opening of a new topic. And then her father give Alice in a row, which is, how about broccoli? Rose, can you show me the broccoli? And this one, Rose looked at the broccoli card and the toy several times to make sure that this is the correct toy that she wants to give it to her father, and then she gave the broccoli to her father. And this time her father gave an evaluation. Oh, that's the broccoli, which is the correct answer to the question. And then the fourth one, we can see that there's new Alice said, okay, Rose, can you show me the orange, which is Alice Nero, like a specific question. And then Rose this time hold the pear toy with her left hand, but it is not the correct answer for that question, right? That's a pear, but her father wants her to give her an orange. That's why her father reinitiate by saying, can you show me the orange, please? Which is an Alice Nero, but also pointing it to the bowl to give her clue or what's the correct toy to give. And then Rose responded by thinking it for a while and looking at the pictures and objects in the bowl, and then finally took the orange. And this time her father also gave the evaluation. Oh, that's the orange, which is the correct one, and thank you as a comment. And then the fifth one, we can see another Alice said, oh, can you show me the carrots, Rose? A bunch of carrots. This is an Alice Nero. And then Rose answered by pointing it to the card, but that's not the correct answer. So her father gave a follow-up by humming and then reinitiate again, can you show me? And then Rose taking a carrot toy from the bowl with her left hand, but gave a pear toy from her mouth with her right hand. But this time her father gave evaluation, but in a different way, because her father say that's a carrot by showing the correct object in Rose's left hand and then saying you're right. And then he initiate again to make sure that Rose actually knows what the carrot is. I'll put the pear back here for now and moving the pear toy to the bowl to distract Rose from looking at that toy, which is a clue. And then give Alice Nero again, can I have the carrot? And then this time Rose give the correct toy. So that's why her father give an evaluation of thank you, perfect, and then comment, see a bunch of carrots to give an extra information and encourage Rose that she did the correct one. Okay, the next one will be delivered by my friend.
Okay, thank you, Anin. Now I'll continue with the analysis of exchanges 6 to 10. So at exchange 6, the father says like, oh, corn Rose, can you show me the corn? So this is all corners. We consider it as a starter, and then can you show me the corn is an illicit narrow. And then Rose responds by immediately takes the corn toy. Yeah, and then the fathers give a feedback by saying yeah as an evaluation, and then give a comment like you love that corn, don't you? That's it. And for the last feedback, the father says let's match it up here, and take the corn from the kid's hand, from Rose's hand. And then the father also gives a comment by saying perfect. So moving on to exchange 7. First, the father also say okay to more as a starter, and the artichoke so much fibrous also as a starter. And then for the illicit narrow, the father asks, can you show me the artichoke, please? So Rose responds by, first, she is confused and looking at her mom. And then her mother, Rose's mother, asks, can you find the artichoke in the basket, Rose? It is identified as a clue because, yeah, her mom clue to the basket. The artichoke is in the basket. And then the father also asks, "Can you find the artichoke right here, Rusty?" And then Rose responds by Rose walking to the figure on the wall. And then, as a feedback, her mom says like, "Attention span is over." And then her father's loss. Then, but because Rose still can give what the fathers ask, her father then asks, like, for initiating game, "Show me the artichoke." And then Rose point to the artichoke picture or card. And the video, like, it's cut. And then this exchange show the father's patience and his ability to scaffold learning using reinitiation and clustering. Then for exchange 8, in exchange 8, the activity is almost over, but the father continues by asking, "Can you give me the pair? I know we're done," as an acid narrow. And then, even though he says we're done, he still tests Rose recognition one more time. And then Rose hands him the pair toy as her response. And then the father reply by, "That's it, thank you," as an evaluation. Next, in exchange 9, the father simply says high five as a directive because he gives an instruction instead of question. And then Rose gives him a high five as her response. Okay, so the last exchange, the father says, "Let's have a breakfast." This is an informative because it provides new information and signals that the session has ended. Okay, so overall, from exchanges 6 to 10, we can see how the father moves from a teaching mode to a more relational mode. So comparing two videos, the mom-daughter storytelling and the father-rose learning session, we can see some clear differences and similarities. First is the setting. Video 1 has a setting like storytelling or casual talk, while video 2 is learning or object identification. And for the child response, video 1 is likely a verbal, while video 2 mostly non-verbal because Rose, yes, she can talk at that time, just give some gestures. And then the tone for the first video is affective and narrative, while the second video is instructional. So both parents follow the IRF pattern, like initiation, response, and feedback, but the way they use it depends on the context. In the storytelling video, the focus is on maintaining the story, flow, and emotion. Meanwhile, in the second video, the focus is on guiding the child through action and confirmation. So to conclude, both video demonstrate how Sinclair and Coulthard's IRF model can be applied beyond the classroom settings, whether it's storytelling or learning vocabulary through play. The structure of communication still follow the same sequence. So, however, each interaction reflects different purposes, while one builds narrative meaning and the other builds understanding through action. So, I think that is all for our group analysis. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for an India's group. If there are any question, you may ask anyone. Again, I will count from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, thank you for Anindia, Nadia, Naila, and Salisa. We going to move on. Okay, this one is mine and Sawa. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yogi Nathanael Cielo, and my group member is Salwa, but in this meeting, Salwa is unwell and cannot attend the class. So I'm going to present our output from our discussion. So the first video, wait, let me scroll. The first video is talking or about a mom and a daughter that telling her mom a story. We analyzed the discourse with Sinclair and Courtyard's framework analysis because I think we are asked to do so, but there are some confusion from me and Salwa, and I just hope that I can make it sure. But today Bu Ika dan Bu Lulu tidak bisa hadir, so I'm just gonna put the question in here, maybe in the video. I'm not really sure about the labeling. And the example that given by Bu Ika in group WhatsApp, there is a statement as L reply, dear E and I. I'm not sure about the definition, but I'm trying to find in the PDF and I'm not finding it. And then I'm trying to find it in Google, and this is what we found. Elicitation is an act that function to request a linguistic response. And the second one is directive. The directive is an act that functions to request a non-linguistic response. And the third one is informative. It's an act that functions to pass on ideas, facts, opinions, information, and to which the appropriate response is simply an acknowledgement that one is listening. And S is statement, L and is elicitation, naming, and reply is reply, there is directive, E is evaluation, E is informative follow-up, and com is comment. So in the first video, we're going to see a lot of elicitation because the mom is acting as the initiator, which opened a conversation or a discourse like this one. Okay, you're gonna tell me a story. It's labeled as elicit because she, as mother, asking or requests a linguistic response to his daughter, and the answer is a linguistic response. Once upon a time, there was a little girl and her name is Alice and blah blah blah. She tells a story. But however, there is actually a note that maybe I can label as, what is it? It's not elicitation, it's just a reply because it's not a linguistic response. And moving on till down. I'm not going to read everything because the previous group already read all of it, but that is the conclusion from the first video. And then we move on to the second video. When the first video is about mom and daughter, this one is mainly about father and daughter, even though there is mom in the last scene, but mainly father is the one who works, who act as initiator. When the first video used a lot of elicit kind of change, the second video, we conclude that it have a lot of directive exchange. For example, this one. All right, fruit and vegetables. Let's do it, my love. It's only a statement. Apples. Statement. Rose, can you show me the apple? Maybe the father just know that his daughter still cannot talk. So we can see that the father are not asking for linguistic response, rather a gesture. And that's why we label it as directive. And the answer is also a gesture. Takes a pew toy. That's a pear. Can you show me the apples? And he follow up, moving to the next directive, and so on. And there is some what is it? Confusion in here, and I hope I can ask Bululu and Buika, but once again, Bululu and Buika is not here, which is the that one, that part. I know this one is a directive. Can you show me? Show the process. Show, not a talk. Can you explain? But can you show it's a directive? But the part, can we count it as E or evaluation? I'm still not sure, and because of that, I put a highlight in here, and moving and so on. And that is the second video. And Salwa, even though she cannot attend the class, she have some notes that I want to tell you, which is, wait, let me read. This one. The first video shows an interaction between a mother and her daughter who is telling a story. In this video, the mother plays a major role in elicitation, which functions to request a verbal response from the child. For example, the mother starts by asking, "Are you gonna tell me a story?" ? To which the child responds with a story about Alice who fell into the toilet and had a funny experience. The interaction pattern here involves question, replies, and comments, showing that the mother guides the supports the child's storytelling. This interaction includes acts such as elicitation, reply, directive, evaluation, and comment. The mother also reinitiates questions to encourage the child to continue, such as repeating, "She fell into the toilet?" to seek clarification and keep the story flowing. For the second video, it features a father teaching his daughter about fruits and vegetables through a matching game. The father used directive to ask the child to show specific objects. For example, "Can you show me the apple?" The child responds by pointing to or handing over the correct toy. The father provides positive reinforcement through expression like "thank you" and "perfect." There's also a moment when the child shows signs of tiredness, indicated by her body posture and facial expression. The father's expressions. The father's directives guide to the interaction with the types of exchange, including directive, statement, evaluation, and command. At the end, the father and daughter give a high five as a positive closing interaction. And overall, both videos display verbal interaction patterns led by the parents using a combination of elicitation and directive acts to build communication that supports the child's learning of storytelling. This is seen in how parents repeatedly ask questions and give positive feedback to motivate active participation in language activities. And maybe that's my presentation. And yeah, thank you. If there are any questions, you may ask. And as usual, I'll count from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you for listening. And now we're going to move to the next group. Wait. Okay. Is my screen visible still? If yes, please,
Yes.
Desi, Damayanti, Rahma, and Shiva, you may present your work.
Okay, thank you, Yogi. Is my voice clear?
It is clear, but menggema, it echoing.
Here. How about now?
Okay, it's better now.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. We are gonna talk about our result in this course video analysis. Our group members are Desi Damayanti, Rahma Naziha, and Shifa Zahra. First, let's talk about the first video. This is the transcript from the video about the conversation of a mother and her toddler that's telling a story. And next, I'm gonna talk about the mother's questions. Can you please scroll, Yogi? Okay, the mother's questions as a form of initiation to engage the toddler to tell her story. The first question is, okay, you're gonna tell me a story. First, the mother made an initiation with a question that requests the toddler to start telling the story. Next, she asked, she fell into the toilet. In this moment, the mother repeats the sentence from the story in a form of question to clarify what she heard. By rewording her sentence, she also indirectly corrects her toddler's pronunciation on how she spelled fold instead of fell. And then the next three questions are from the mother to confirm Alice's condition. Was she okay? She was not okay? And stuck in the toilet. This is proof that the mother is listening attentively and following the story plot. The next question is by a big word. In this interaction, the mother is asking the toddler to repeat what she said because the toddler did not pronounce it correctly. And the last question from her mother is, so she found her mom in the end? This is the mother asking to confirm the ending of the story. The next part will be explained by Shifa Zahar.
Okay, thank you, Rahma. Next one, we're going to discuss about toddler's answer. Could you please scroll up? Scroll down. Okay, the first answers of the toddler, she said yes, and then she started telling the story. Once upon a time, there was a little girl, and her name is Alice, and she was 5 years old, and then she had to go to the toilet, and then it's too big for her. She was a little baby, and then she felt to fall in. In this interaction, the toddler was trying to deliver complete and meaningful sentences in the form of a story. This was a response to her mother's request. The toddler was not only able to construct sentences with confidence, she also managed to describe the character with simple descriptions. Despite her limit in producing words and conjunction, she was able to finish the story, which is the introduction part of the story. Next answer are yep and she wasn't. This response is the form of affirmation. She's aware that by responding to this question, the listener, which is mother, will understand what is happening to the character. Next, can you scroll down? Okay, next answer. Then she got stuck. This is where the toddler continued her story. She knew it is time to create the core conflict to make it more intense. Next answer. Yep, she got stuck by a big swamp, which is the mispronounced from slime. Same as the previous case, this is a response of affirmation. It is followed by the continuation of the story. Even though she mispronounced the word slime to swamp, she managed to continue the core conflict of the story. Next answer. Yep, it was so sticky and it was stick attached to the baby. Here the toddler uses an adjective to elaborate on the slime texture. Even though she's able to make the correct use of past tense, there's still a grammatical error. These errors are the use of stick as a verb might come from the repetition of the word sticky. Next answer. Then she came and find her mom. In this part, she knew that it was time for her to end the story. She understands that a story needs solutions or an ending. Despite the ambiguity of the plot, how Alice escaped from the slime, how the mom found Alice, or how the mom helped Alice, she made it as it is the end of the story and she succeeded. Although there were some errors, like came and find, her last line was still understandable. Next answer is yes. This is the toddler response to the mother's a confirmation to the situation. Next answer, want me to tell you another one? This is the end of the story. The turtle asks a question to her mother if she wants to hear another one. Okay, next up will be presented by Desi.
And next is mother feedback. In the result of her story, the feedback given by the mother was giving praise to show the interest by her expression and ensure for every word or object that the toddler said. So these are the three feedback. Oh no, yeah. Thank goodness. And in this instruction, the mother was surprised to her story. It indicates that her mother was excited too and followed the plot of the story. Her expression and tone of voice also encouraged the toddler to complete the story. And the next feedback is slime. For this situation, the mother realized the word that the toddler is trying to say by repeating the word with the correct pronunciation. And the next feedback, yes, I do. Then the mother answered the question cheerfully that she wanted to hear another story from her toddler. It showed that mother was proud of her. And the next will be present by
Okay, this is the transcript for the second video. The types of exchange, same as the previous analysis: initiation, response, and feedback. Can you please scroll down, Yogi? Can you do the first part of father's questions? It is a form of initiation to engage the baby's activeness during the activity. Before they start, the father gives the baby a forehead kiss as a form of encouragement for his baby. For the first three questions, Rose, can you show me the pear, the apple, and the bananas? These are the father's command in the form of questions. It's to engage his baby during learning. In the video, the father shows a flashcard of a pear picture in his hand while looking at his baby and the fruit basket. The father wants his baby to match the fruit from the basket with the picture in the flashcard. By doing this interaction, it can improve his baby's skill to follow instructions and absorb the information on the name of the fruit. Next, the father's comment and question. Can you show me, Rose, the bananas? Meanwhile, in this part, there are two processes that happen. Her father gives feedback with and as a confirmation that it is what he's asking for, and the feedback is immediately followed by an initiation. The father repeated the question and added more information by pointing to the basket fruit. Next, this also two process that happen. Father's comment and questions. The father adds a bridge onto the next question in the first part of his statement. Okay, I like this one. The father's laugh and comment on how he likes the broccoli is meant to build a positive energy around the vegetable. It was followed by an initiation, in a form of questions about the vegetable. He asked the question twice to reinforce the association between the name of the vegetable and the vegetable itself. Next, the father's comment and question. Okay, Rose, can you show me the orange? Can you show me the orange, please? Can you scroll down, please, Yogi? Thank you. In this case, there are also two processes that happen. Father gives initiation and comment at the same time. He gives compliment first to his baby for being able to give him the broccoli. Then the father continues by showing the next card and asks to show him the orange. In the form of compliment, it helps to maintain the baby's confidence and engagement. Next, in a form of question, the father asked the question twice and added the word please to get his baby's attention. Next, the father's question. "Oh, can you show me the carrots, Rose?" "A bunch of carrots." In this initiation, the father not only asked for the next fruit, but also called the baby's name to get her attention and repeat the information to emphasize what the baby should find next. Next, the fathers give a statement. "I'll put the pear back here for now." In this part, the baby starts to lose her focus and instead, she plays with the pear instead, so the father needs to take the pear to be able to continue with the next flashcard. Next, he asks, "Can I have the carrot?" The father asks for the carrot again because the baby kept playing with the pear. This is important to get her focus and ensure the baby knows which one the carrot is. Next question is, "Oh, corn grows. Can you show me the corn?" The father starts the next initiation with a statement. He showed excitement through his tone again to get the baby's attention, then asked for the next fruit. And the next, let's match it up here. The dad took the corn to the flashcard. In this moment, the father noticed the baby kept holding the corn, so he took the corn from the baby's hand and matched it to the flashcard. Next, this case is also two processes that happen at the same time, a statement and initiation. The father gives a statement to give an information that the artichoke has so much fiber and asks the baby to show which one is the artichoke. By this interaction, the baby not only gets information of what an artichoke is, but also that artichoke contains a lot of fiber. Next is mother's question. "Can you find the artichoke in the basket, Rose?" This is a repetition of the father's question because the baby has not responded and is trying to get up from his father's lap. So the mother asks this question to encourage the baby to answer. Next, the father asks, "Can you find the artichoke right here, Rose, please?" In this section, the baby has moved from his father's lap and his father asks the baby to come closer to some pictures displayed on the wall. This is supposed to get the baby's attention so she can answer his father's unanswered questions. Next, the father's question, "Show me the artichoke." It is also a command demanding an action to show the artichoke from Rose. The baby then went to the pictures on the wall. There were 6 different pictures, so the father asked to make sure that the baby really knew which of the 6 pictures was called an artichoke. And the last question from the father is, "Can you show me the pear?" And then we're done. In this situation, the father asks the last question and make a statement to indicate that the activity is almost finished. After showing several fruits, the baby becomes bored and even the mother previously joins in asking questions. Finally, there is 1 fruit left in the basket and the father asks the baby to show it to him. In summary, the repeated questions involving matching toy fruit with flashcards conducted by the fathers to encourage the baby to recognize the fruit. Next up will be presented by Shifa Zahra.
Okay, thank you, Rahman. Next one, we're going to discuss the baby's response. This is a form of response to the father questions. These first 3 responses are the answer to the father's comment, not in verbal response, rather an action. The baby correctly follows the father's instructions by taking the pear from the basket and giving it to her father. The baby is able to match what's in the picture and the toy fruit. This action proves that the baby understands his instruction and can differentiate the pear from other fruits. Next response, baby points at the bananas. In this situation, the baby points at the bananas picture on the flashcard. It's a form of asking for clarification on the question. Even though this is a form of response to the father's command, it is not an action that her father expected. Next response, baby took the bananas and gave them to the dad. And the baby took the broccoli and gave it to the dad. Same as previous case, the baby follows the father's instructions correctly by taking the fruit from the basket and giving it to her father. Next, baby thinking and mumbling and took the orange. In this case, the baby is trying to find the fruit by taking her time to think while mumbling and looking at the flashcard before she finally able to find the orange. Next response, baby put the pear in her mouth while touching the flashcard, then chose the carrot. In this process, the baby starts to lose her focus, but still showing that she is following the instruction. She put the pear in her mouth, while her eyes and hands are looking at the flashcard. Next, baby gave the carrot to the dad. Although she started to show less interest, she was able to maintain her focus. She found the carrot and gave it to the father. Next response, the baby immediately took the corn. Without hesitation, the baby took the corn. Once she recognized the shape and the color of the corn, she took it immediately. Next response, baby replied with "hmm." The baby showed agreement by saying yes in her language, which is "hmm." Next response, baby exclaimed "hmm" and looked at her mother. For this instruction, the baby responds and gives her attention by looking at her mother, which means to recognize the mother's questions. Next response, baby stood up, unwilling to give the artichoke from the basket. In this moment, the baby will feel exhausted to answer the questions because this has been going on for too long. Next response, baby walked closer to the wall pictures. In this part, the father regains the baby's attention, and the baby follows his father's instructions to answer questions. The next response, baby points at the artichoke picture on the wall. Then the baby can show the correct answer by pointing to the picture. This shows that the baby is still paying attention and staying focused, thus getting the correct answer. And last response, baby gave the pear from the basket to the dad. Lastly, the baby can follow the instructions and show the correct answers after answering several questions about different fruits in the basket. In summary, the baby has the ability to follow the father's instruction. The baby might do unpredictable action, but she met her parents' expectation to answer all the questions correctly. Even though she expressed herself in a non-verbal response, the baby was able to match the toy fruits with the flashcards. Okay, next one will be presented by Desi.
Okay. These are the father's feedback as a from to give feedback for his baby, and there are these are the feedback. That's a pear, that's an apple, thank you, that's the banana, thank you, that's the broccoli, and that's the orange while kneading and then thank you. These are the father feedback in the form of statement. The father repeat the answer which acknowledge the baby's correct action and as attempt to enhance her memory of the name of the fruit. Sometimes the mother adds another statement like thank you in a form of appreciation as positive feedback and to introduce his baby to polite expression. And next feedback is that's the carrot, you're right. In this process, the father get the same reaction for the baby response while also directly telling the baby that her answer is correct. And next feedback is thank you, perfect. See, a bunch of carrot. However, in this process, the father not only gave the baby appreciation for following the instruction and for being able to control her attention, but he also affirmed what she was trying to find. And next feedback is, yeah, then the father showed with exist statement for the baby's ability in showing the correct vegetable within a second. And then this is the first statement and feedback. And the first statement, you love that continue. In this process, the father noticed that the baby kept holding the corn, so she said that she loved it as if he literally loved the corn. And then the feedback, that's it, perfect. And the first feedback in the form of compliment, this is the same expression of his appreciation the baby answer. And then the first statement, the father wants to make sure that the baby is still following his instructions, so he opened by telling her how many questions left. Okay, 2 more. And next is the father feedback. Yeah, this show the father's happy for the baby response. And the last feedback is That's it. Thank you and high five. So the baby and the dad high five. At last, the father appreciate for the correct answer by saying thank you, and to end his session, they high five each other, which means that the father is proud of his baby. So maybe that's all for our presentation. Do you have any question? Okay. If
Okay.
you don't have any question, thank you so much for your attention and goodbye.
Okay, thank you, Desi Rahman Siva. We now going to move on to next group, which is Dini, Fitri, and Imas. Is Dini, Fitri, and Imas here?
Yes, we are here.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, you may start.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good afternoon, everyone. We are from Group 6. There are Dini Swantika, Fitri Nurul Fajri, and Imas Rohimah. Today, we are going to present our result of video analysis project. So, in the video analysis project, we analyzed two short parent-child conversation using two models of discourse analysis. The first is IRF model, or initiation, response, and feedback. And the second one is Sinclair and Coulthard model, the opening, answering, and follow-up. Now, let's start with the first video, which will be explained by Fitri.
Okay, thank you, Dini. The first video show a conversation between mother and little Dodger. The mom begins by saying, "Okay, you're gonna tell me a story," and the child responds with a story about a little girl named Alice who fell into the toilet. When we look closely at the interaction, we can clearly see the IRF pattern: initiation, response, and feedback. The initiation is the mother asks the child to tell a story. And response is the child responds by telling the story in her own words. And feedback is the mother react, for example, or formulating what the child says. Like when she says, she fell into the toilet, or she was not okay. This repetition serves as feedback and encouragement, helping the child to correct herself or continue speaking confidently. We also notice that the mother often uses reinitiation, while she repeats or slightly changes the question to guide the child's response. For example, the mom say, "Was she okay?" and the child respond, "She wasn't." And the mom feedbacks, "She was not okay." This show that the mother's feedbacks plays an important role in several language learning and skills. Through the IRF models, we can see that the interaction like this naturally support children's communication development. Now let's move to the second video, which will be explained by it.
Check, check. All right. So the second video also shows a parent-child interaction, but this time it's between a father and his daughter, Rose. They are learning about fruits and vegetables together. For example, the father says, "Rose, can you show me the apple?" But Rose points to a pear. So the father gently corrects her and says, "Oh, that's a pear. Can you show me the apple, Rose?" And in this case, the conversation follows the Sinclair and Coulthard model, which consists of three main parts. Number one is opening or elicit. The father asks a question or gives a task, such as, can you show me the banana? And number two is answering or response. The child responds by showing the object, that's the banana. And number three is follow up. The father gives feedback, for example, thank you or you are right. Sometimes, when the child's answer is not correct, the father repeats or rephrases the question. This process is called reinitiation, and it helps the child stay focused and learn from her mistakes. From this video, we can see how natural communication between a parents and a child reflects classroom like discourse, where the adult acts as a teacher and the child learns through guided questionings and feedback. That's all from me. I give it back to Dini.
Okay, so thank you, Imas. The conclusion is what video show how interaction and feedback play a vital role in language learning. So in the IRF model, we can see how simple tracking help a child develop storytelling skill. And in the Sinclair and Coulthard model, we observe a more structured interaction that resembles a teaching process. That's all from our group. Thank you for your nice attention and see you again.
Okay, thank you, Dini, Fitri, and Imas. We're going to move on to the next group, which is Alien, Masayu, Siti, and Minita. But by the way, kita kelas tuh sampai jam berapa ya?
14.40 nggak sih?
14.40.
Okay, 18 minutes left. So, Alien, Masayu, Siti, and Unita, you may present your works.
Okay, thank you, Yogi. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, our group consisting of Alin, Masayu, Sarah, and Yuni will present a video analysis of an interaction between parents and their daughters. So in our analysis, we use a transcript and framework proposed by Sinclair and Coulthard 1975 to better understand the flow of communication and the functions of each utterance and gestures. So before we go deeper, let us first explain some of the notations we use. So CL, so the first one we have CL stands for clue. So this happens when a speaker gives a hint to support understanding, and then RIP means reply. This happens when someone responds to what has been said or questions. E, this one is used for evaluation. This happens when the speaker gives feedback or judgment. Com means comment. This is an additional opinion or response. And then as is a statement. So this one is a declarative sentence or an expression of information. And then L stands for elicitation, when someone asks for information or tries to get a response. N is nomination. So this one happens when one speaker gives the turn to another. Okay, so this kind of notations help us break down the conversations and see how the communication and interaction works. So for the first video, analysis will be explained by Sarah and Ellen. The time and floor is yours.
All right, thank you, Masayo. Okay, hello everyone. My name is Sarah. So I'm going to explain the analysis video from the first video. So actually, the first video discussed the conversation between the mother and her daughter, specifically telling about Alan's story. Now, please look at the first table. Here, the first statement, "Hey, you're gonna tell me a story?" Looking at her mother's facial expression, she looked so happy to be told a story while listening to her daughter's story seriously. This statement indicates elicitation with nomination in initiation, and type of exchange is elicitation. The reason why? Because the elicitation serves as the first topic of conversation between the mother and daughter. Meanwhile, the nomination refers to the daughter's name. Hey, this also marks the opening of their conversation. Then her daughter replies by saying, once upon a time there was a little girl and her name is Alice. And she was 5 years old and then she had to go to the toilet. And then it's too big for her. She was a little baby and then she fell in. Looking at her daughter's facial expression and gesture, she responded by telling the main character of the story, Alice, enthusiastically and used some hand gesture, or she put her hand on her stomach, or used some incorrect grammatical use, including have to and fall in. This statement indicates a reply in response, and type of exchange is reinitiation. The reason why, because this statement is respond to the first initial question. Okay, Yogi, sorry, can you scroll down? All right, let's move on to the second statement is she fell into the toilet. Looking at her mother's facial expression, she reacted with surprise to her daughter by staring at her, making the eye contact. This statement indicates a reply in initiation, and type of exchange is reinitiation. The reason why, because this statement refers to the various daughter's response. Then her daughter replies by saying, "Yep." Looking at her daughter's gesture, she responds while looking at her mother. This statement indicates a reply in the response, and the type of exchange is reinitiation. The reason why, because this statement refers to her mother various response. That's all from me. Next, the explanation will continue by Ellen. Time and place are yours.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. And now let's move on to the third statement. Was she okay? This statement indicates a reply in the initiation because the statement is refers to the child previous response. And looking for the mother expression, the mother still shows a surprised reaction to her daughter by staring at her as if she were worried. And then the daughter replied by saying she wasn't, and she looked at the camera while shaking her head, showing disagreement. And for the next statement, she was not okay. This indicates as a reply in the initiation because the statement is refers to the child previous response. And looking for the mother gesture, her mother was still staring at her by shaking the head to ensure Alice was not okay. And the daughter replied by saying no. She responded while looking at her mother and the camera while shaking her head, showing disagreement. And the mother said, "Oh no," as a follow-up. And the follow-up indicates as an evaluation because it is used whether something is right or wrong. Looking the mother gesture, her mother shows worried and unfortunate respond to her, showing the empty for Alice. And for the upcoming statement and table, the similar analysis has been conducted. And overall, the first video analysis showed the interaction between the mother and daughter. The daughter is 3 years old and has been able to communicate verbally. Therefore, the interaction happens by using conversation gesture and facial expression. And that's all for the first video analysis. The second video will be explained by Yunita and Masayu.
Thank you, Sarah and Ellen. Now proceed to the second video analysis between a father and a daughter age 15 months. Okay, so the first one we have, all right, fruits and vegetables. Let's do it, my love. Apples. So these two statements are considered as elicitation statements as both still rely on giving information or persuasion. However, when the father asks, "Rose, can you show me the apple?" This is considered as elicitation nomination because the initial question is about to begin in this part, and the nomination itself refers to the Rose as the one whom the question is addressed to. However, since the doubter is not still able to communicate effectively, verbally, we use the gesture analysis to observe the interaction. After the initial question had been asked by the father, the child replied by paying attention to the picture shown by her dad while taking the fruit pear immediately. So this gesture is considered as the reply since this is the only reaction that the doubters the doubters can give to her father. And the father reacted to the child's response by saying, "Oh, that's a pear." This is considered a comment as the father tried to tell the disagreement on the child's reaction that was supposed to show the apple but not the pear. And yeah, the reinitiation was shown when the father re-asked Rose to show the apple by saying, "Can you show me the apple, Rose?" while moving some kinds of gestures by pointing out the bowl of fruits. And this statement is considered as a clue to give a hint to support Rose's understanding as the first question failed to meet his father's expectations. And the nomination itself, one more time, is referred to Rose. And then Rose then replied by showing some gestures by focusing on looking at the pear, but for a sudden she listened to her dad and grabbed the apple and gave it to dad immediately. So this is considered as a reply since this is a form of child's reaction to her father's um, reinitiation or questions. And then the father reacted by saying, "That's the apple." This is considered as evaluation since it shows whether something is right or wrong. And when the father told "that's the apple," the interactions had been successfully tested by the father. And to end this first topic of elicitation, the father replied by showing the appreciation by saying "thank you." Yeah, and this is considered a reply again, as it shows the father's reaction to the child's response. And for the second topic of the video analysis will be explained by Unita. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Masayu. And now moving on to the next statement is, can you show me Rose the banana? Is including elicitation and nomination because this is the new topic and information is about banana. And the response of the child is Rose pointed out the picture banana twice as a reply. And then the father replied with aha and looking at the father gesture while noting when Rose pointed to the pictures. And the next statement is the father tried to reinitiate with the initiate question is, can you show me the banana in here? Is include a clue and nomination because in the previous statement the child didn't answer correctly, so the father tried to give a clue with a gesture while he pointed out the bowl. So the response of the child is she grabbed the banana and gave it to her dad immediately. And then the father gave the feedback with "that's the banana" as evaluation. And as Masayu explained earlier, evaluation is used to indicate whether something is right or wrong. So in this case, the child gave the right answer. And the father also says "thank you" as a reply. And for the other statement is still similar. And for the upcoming statement and table, the similar analysis have been conducted. The interaction between the father and daughter shows not only a natural exchange of question and answers, but also how parents play a role in supporting their child's language development. Overall, the analysis shows a clear pattern of father-child communication. The father leads the conversation through elicitation and evaluation, while the daughter responds, comments, and learns from the interaction by using gestures. And that's all from our group presentation. Thank you for your attention. And we hope this analysis helped you see the importance of conversation analysis in daily interaction. Thank you so much for your nice attention. I will give it back to Yogi.
Okay, thank you. For Ellen, Masayu, Siti, and Unita, if there are any question you may ask. I'll count from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, once again, thank you, Ellen, Masayu, Siti, and Unita. We're gonna moving on. However, we still have 1, 2, 3, 4. We still have 4 groups, but the times is Only 5 minutes. Let's do a vote. Are we going to continue the presentation or stop it? And maybe the 4 groups will present next week. Gimana? Oke, satu suara dari Faryaninda, dari Fauzia, lanjut.
Lanjut.
Oke. Okay, we're gonna continue then. Can anyone change me? Sani gantian dong moderator.
Ini pakai HP kan? Iya, aku pakai HP ini.
Pakai HP jadi
Nggak bisa
susah
apa sih?
share screen.
Nggak bisa
Okay,
share.
does anyone
Pajaknya
can
bisa.
help me to become the moderator, please? Or just the group? Grupnya Fasya, Gina, Linda, and Tiara. Can you present your works, please? Once again, Fasya, Gina, Linda, or Tiara, can you guys present your works?
Linda lagi mau.
Okay. Can you hear my voice? Yes. Can you hear my voice?
I think it's better for you to talk louder, a little bit.
Okay, how about now?
Okay, it's better.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. We are from the next group that consists of me, Fasya, Gina, Tiara, and Linda. And now we are going to explain the results of our IRF analysis based on 2 parent-child interaction videos. Okay, maybe Tiara, you can start.
Okay. Sorry, I cannot turn on my camera. So for the first video, we analyzed a conversation between a mother and her child telling a story. The mom began by asking, "Okay, you're gonna tell me a story? This is an Okay, wait. There is a problem with my Okay. Okay, so in the first video, we analyzed a conversation between a mother and her child, where the child tells a story. And here I will briefly explain the IRF patterns. First, for the initiation, mostly done by the mother. She starts the conversation by asking, "Okay, you're gonna tell me a story?" And then for the response, the child responds by telling a creative story about a girl named Alice. And then for the follow-up, the mother often reacts emotionally with the expression, "Oh no," or "Thank goodness." Okay, so in this video, the domination type is the initiation appears very frequently. The mother kept asking follow-up questions such as, "She fell into the toilet. Was she okay?" By a big what? And then this happens because the child is still developing language skills and sometimes uses unclear words or incomplete sentences. The mother naturally repeats or rephrase questions to encourage the child to continue speaking and clarify ideas. So the IRF pattern here become elicit, response, and reinitiate, repeated many times. This pattern shows that the interaction is supportive and exploratory, helping the child develop storytelling and verbal confidence. The mom's emotional feedback also help keep the child motivated and engaged. For the next analysis will be delivered by Gina.
Okay, in the second video, the interaction is between a father and his daughter who named Rose, are learning about fruits and vegetables. Based on the IRF pattern that our group analyzed before, the initiation is the father initiates almost all turns with questions like, can you show me the apple rose or can you show me the banana rose? As you can see at the screen. And then for the response, Rose responds by pointing or picking up the correct object. And then for the follow-up, the father confirms and praises saying like, that's the apple, thank you, that's the banana, that's the corn, thank you, like that. And the most frequent move in this video is elicit because the father keeps asking questions to check Rose's understanding. When Rose picks the wrong item, the father doesn't scold her, but he reinitiates by repeating the question or simplifying it. For example, like, can you find the artichoke in the basket, Rose? Like that. And this happens because Rose is in the early stage of vocabulary learning, so she still needs repetition and visual guidance. So the father's use of frequent elicitation helps Rose to recognize, remember, and differentiate objects. His positive feedback, such as a perfect or high five, keeps her motivated and focused. So overall, the IRF cycle in this video is elicit, response, and feedback. This IRF cycle supports a vocabulary acquisition and comprehensions. Next will be delivered by Linda.
Okay, thank you, Tina. So, when comparing both video, we can see that IRF patterns are shaped by the child age and language ability. From the first video, the main activity is storytelling, and the dominant IRF move is reinitiation. The parent role is listener and encourager, and the child language level is on developing storytelling ability. And the second video is the main activity is vocabulary learning. The dominant IRF move is elicitation, and the parent roles in instructor and guide. The child language level is on the early vocabulary learning. And in the short, the first video show more initiation because the mother keeps prompting her child to clarify unclear speech. Meanwhile, the second video show more elicitation because the father is teaching vocabulary through repeat questioning. Both show that the parent use IRF strategies naturally to make learning more interactive and child-centered. And I will give back to Pasha.
Okay, to conclude our analysis, we found that first, the IRF structure appears clearly in both videos, but in different forms depending on the situation. And then the frequency of reinitiation in the first video indicates language exploration. And the dominance of elicitation in the second video indicates structured learning. And then lastly, both parents use feedback effectively to keep the child engaged and motivated. This proves that IRF is a powerful communication pattern that supports language learning not only in classrooms, but also in daily interactions at home. Okay, maybe that's all from our group. Thank you for your attention.
Okay. Is there any question for the previous group? If no, we can move on to the next group, which is Fauzia, Kayla, Fahira, and Wafa.
Okay, thank you, Yogi. Is my screen visible?
Yep, you are visible and audible.
Okay, thank you, Yogi. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to present our analysis using the IRF framework, initiation, response, and feedback based on Sinclair and Coulthard model. So, our member consists of me, Fauzia Astuti, Khail Hanifa Duyani, Nurfahira Makarim, and Wafa Khalisa Firdaus. So, we analyzed two videos, one about storytelling and about identifying fruits and vegetables. When we were analyzing the video, we noticed that the exchange generally begin with a question or statement from the parents, followed by the children's responses, and end with feedback such as clarification, repetition, comments, or simple appreciation like thank you or perfect. Since another group had already explained a similar pattern of interaction, so instead of repeating the same explanation, we're just gonna read some of those. So, okay, let's begin with the first video analysis about storytelling interaction that will be explained by Wafa.
Can you go on to the table? Okay, the first video is about a mom and her child are engaged in the storytelling. The mom initiates the storytelling with some questions, and the child tells a creative story about a girl named Alice. And this table is the result of our analysis. We found the ERF pattern from the video, such as the first one is type of exchange, which consists of elicit and reinitiate. Elicit is where the mom asks the child by saying some questions, such as, "You're gonna tell me a story? Was she okay?" and so on. Also, consists of where when the child talk about the new topic, such as, then she got stuck. Then she came and find her mom, and so on. Also, there is reinitiate when the mom asks the same question that she has asked before, this to clarify what the child took. This can be like, she was not, for Elisabeth, was she okay? And Rennie said, she was not okay. Like that, and those two are included to the opening. And there is the second one is answering. Answering is when the child gives a reaction or respond to her mom by telling the story. For example, once upon a time there was a little girl and her name was Alice, and so on. And also the last one, there is follow-up, which consists of some parts. We have discussed that follow-up consists of evaluation, comment, and repetition. For example, from this video, there is, she fell into the toilet. The mom asked, respond to the child's answer by clarifying the story, by asking, she fell into the toilet. And also there is this example from the repetition, like a swine, and so on. The mother used clarification and repetition as feedback to support the child's story and maintaining engagement. That's all for this video, and the second video will presented by Fahir.
Okay, so now let's move on to the second video. This one is about a dad interacting with his daughter, Rose, while matching the fruits and vegetables in the basket with the one in the picture. And after analyzing the video, we found some pattern In the conversation, the dad keeps asking Rose to show him different fruits or vegetables like apples, bananas, broccoli, and etc. And every time she picks the right one, the dad responds positively, giving a follow-up evaluation by saying, "Oh, that's the apple, thank you." Perfect. So next, if we look at the table, most of the exchanges are elicit, which means that the dad keeps asking questions to get a response from Rose, like, "Can you show me the banana?" or "Can you show me the orange?" Then when Rose picks the correct fruit, he gives a follow-up answer a follow-up feedback by acknowledging or praising her, like what I said before. And when Rose gives the wrong answer, for example, when she gives him a pear instead of a carrot, or she gives him a pear instead of an apple, the dad doesn't correct her harshly. Instead, he reinitiates the question. He repeats it in a softer, more helpful way, like, "Can I have the carrots?" And that encourages her to try again. And there's also a moment where Rose gets distracted, like when they ask her about the artichoke, and the parents gently try to bring her focus back by repeating and guiding her without pressure. And that marks the end of my presentation of the second table, and the next one will be explained by Kyla.
Okay, thank you so much, Vahira. And now I'm going to talk about the conclusion, I could say. So to sum up, both interactions from those two videos show how parents scaffold their children's learning. In the storytelling video, which is the first one, the mom encourages creativity, while in the fruit video, the parents guide correct identification. And when the children made mistakes, the parents didn't blame, but reinitiated or rephrased the question. So their positive feedback, like "thank you" and "perfect," reinforced effort and created a supportive environment. This shows how effective IRF patterns can foster confidence, engagement, and learning through positive parent-child communication. And yeah, I think that's all from our group. Thank you so much for your attention. And the last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, Waalaikumsalam. Okay, maybe we can just move on to Putri, Reta, and Sunny's group. You may present your works.
All right. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. So I am here to present our group discussion about the video's analysis. All right. In the first video, the interaction is between a mother and a child who tells a story. Most of the exchanges are elicitations because the mother asks questions and the child responds verbally. The mother also gives various types of follow-up, such as confirmation, clarification, recast, and praise. For example, when the child says a big swine, and the mother responds with a slime. This is a feedback. This is a feedback that helps correct and expand the child's language. So this shows that the mother's feedback helped guide and expand the child's language production. So in this video, the IRF pattern is very clear, and the child is actively producing language.
And in the second video, the interaction is between a father and his young daughter, Rose. At first glance, many of the father's words look like elicitation because they are in question form, like, "Can you show me the apple?" However, functionally, these are actually directives. The reason is the father isn't asking for a verbal answer. He already knows that Rose is very young and doesn't respond verbally. Instead, he expects an action such as pointing, grabbing, or giving the item. So even though the form is question, the function is to request a non-linguistic response, which fits the definition of directive exchanges. And we also found some reinitiations when Rose gives the wrong item or doesn't respond, and the father repeats or represses the instruction. Rose's response are consistently nonverbal, expressed through actions, and the father's follow-up moves are mostly evaluate feedback and praises, such as "That's the carrot, you're right, perfect, high five."
So
Alright,
to
jump.
uh, so to uh, sum it up kind of. Overall, both videos shows, I think most of it, complete IRF sequences, and then some reinitiations need to be done, occur when the chat's response is incomplete or incorrect. For example, in the first video, the parent uses elicitation and some verbal responses, while the second video uses directive and action responses. In conclusion, in the both videos shows that follow-up plays an important role in confirming, understanding, encouraging the child to help them complete their meaning making. I think that's all.
Yes, that marks the end of our presentation. So thank you very much for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, Waalaikumsalam. Now, the last but not least, which is Farihanida, Claudia, and Nadifa, if I'm not mistaken. You may start the presentation. That's Farihanida, Claudia, no, Claudia, Audia. Okay, you may start.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. In this opportunity, we will present our analysis of these two videos based on Sinclair and Coulthard framework. Our group consists of Fadila Audina Ramadhani, Nadifa Alfirani Ridwan, and Farihanida Sela Zaman. Okay. The first video, the interaction between the mother and the child in the storytelling video can thus be analyzed through several types of exchange, including framing, inform, and elicit. The conversation begins with a framing move. Okay, you're gonna tell me a story? Okay. Which serve to open and set the context for the storytelling activity. The inform move are produced by the child when providing new information or narrative content that advance the story, such as once upon a time there was a little girl and her name is Alice, or then she got stuck, or then she came and find her mom. These utterances are not responses to questions, but rather serve to introduce, describe, and develop the storyline. Meanwhile, the mother frequently uses elicit move to guide the conversation and encourage responses, as seen in questions like, was she okay? Or by a big what? Which aim to prompt clarification, maintain engagement, and scaffold the child's storytelling process. In response, the child answers such as, she was not, or yep, are categorized as reply moves that fulfill the mother's elicitation, while her emotional reactions like, oh no, or yuck, or thank goodness, are classified as command within the follow-up column, providing feedback or evaluation. Overall, the dialogue clearly demonstrates the IRF or initiation response feedback structure, showing that the mother managed the flow of interaction through framing and elicitation, while the child actively contributes meaningfully through information and replies, supported by the mother's comments as feedbacks. Next presentation will be delivered by Nadifa.
Okay, so next to the second video, there is a framing. This is when the desk starts the activity by giving context and showing enthusiasm. Wait. The first row is framing. This is when the desk starts the activity by giving context and showing enthusiasm. He says, "All right, fruits and vegetable, let's do it, my love." This helps Rose understand that they are going to start an activity together about naming fruits and vegetables. And next, there are several elicit exchange. Elicit means that the dad asks a question to make Rose respond or show something. For example, he says, "Apples. Rose, can you show me the apple?" Here, Rose tries to answer by showing a pear, but it is incorrect. The dad doesn't scold her. Instead, he says, "Oh, that's a pear," which implies that her answer is not correct. Then we have they are reinitiate. This happens when the dad repeats or rephrases the same question because Rose gave a wrong answer before. He says, "Can you show me the apple, Rose?" Rose shows the correct fruit, an apple. The dad responds positively by saying, "That's the apple, thank you." It shows that he appreciates her effort and encourage her learning. And then there are also inform when the dad trying to give information with saying, "I'll put the pear back here for now." Okay, so next will explain by Fadila.
Okay, so the next type of exchange is elicit, because this is a brand new question. The dad asks, "Can I have the carrots?" Then Rose answer with a non-verbal gesture. She gives the carrot, and then the father follow up the response by saying, "Thank you, perfect. See a bunch of carrot," which include as comment. The next one is also elicit. The dad say, "Oh, corn, Rose, can you show me the corn? Yeah, you love that corn, don't you?" Here, the dad mentioning his daughter name, which is Rose, so there is a nomination, there is and symbol. Then after that, Rose respond with give the corn, and that follow up with saying, "That's it. Let's make it up here." Put back. Then the next one is inform, because the dad give an information. Okay, tomorrow, which is there are two more questions. The next one is elicit. The dad and mom says the artichoke, so much fiber, Rose. Can you show me the artichoke, please? Can you find the artichoke in the basket, Rose? Can you find the artichoke right here, Rosie? However, Rose didn't respond, and she walked into another place. And then the mom gave a comment, say attention span, because Rose didn't give attention. And then the next one is reinitiate. The father give a second chance by asking, "Show me the artichoke." And then after that, Rose pointed to another artichoke, and the father evaluate by saying, "Yeah." And the last one is elicit. The father asks, "Can you get me the pear?" And then we're done. And after that, Rose responds by give the pear, and the dad say, "That's it, thank you, high five, let's have breakfast," which is a comment and also an appreciation. So From both videos, it can be seen that the interaction between parents and children follow the Sinclair and Coulthard model, but in slightly different ways depending on the situation and the child's speaking ability. In the first video, the child is already able to speak fluently and takes the dominant speaking role by telling a story. The mom's role here is mainly to support, clarify, and encourage the storytelling process. And the mom's response saw affectionate involvement and helped sustain the child narrative flow. Meanwhile, in the second video, the child's response are non-verbal, so the structure clearly fits the IRF pattern. The dad gives elicits such as "Can you show me the apple?" and the child responds by pointing or showing, and then the dad provides feedback or evaluation, and when the answer is wrong, he uses a reinitiation to help the child correct it. So I think that is all from us. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, just asking, is there anyone that doesn't have a group and doesn't upload the analysis? If no, berarti semuanya sudah. Okay, berarti semuanya sudah presentasi. Everyone have present, and the last presentation marks our end. Terima kasih semuanya sudah datang. From this, we can see that there are some differences between group and there are some similarities. But I hope in the next meeting, Bu Ika dan Bu Lulu bisa make sure and which one is the correct one, gitu ya. Sebelum kita end our session, sebelum kita pergi, mungkin bisa on cam so I can screenshot. Oke, on cam. Aku hitung ya. First slide. 1, 2, 3. Oke. The second screen. Second slide. 1, 2, 3. Oke. Thank you everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Yogi.
Waalaikumsalam.
Yogi.
Thank you, Yogi.
Thank you, Yogi.
Salam, thank you.